You may have seen that Johnny Depp's abuse and defamation claims have been addressed in court recently with more evidence around the Amber Heard case. Now, I think watching this as a doctor, we have so many points to take from it that we can really learn from in general on how we treat domestic violence, especially against men. And in this video, I'm going to break down some of the signs of abuse that Johnny Depp has faced with some examples, as well as extrapolating that into what we can learn and my analysis of Amber Heard. If you don't know who I am, my name is Saramed and I make videos about celebrities and their health. I do that so we can learn and apply some things to our lives. And so if that's something you're into, hit subscribe and you can stay informed. So the first thing to note is that domestic violence against men is way more common than we think. And this case is helping to illustrate that. So 1 in 3 victims of domestic violence are actually men, and they're much less likely to seek support for it. So there's only about 4% of domestic violence support calls are from men, even though they make up 33%. And that just shows you how much men suffer with this, and we really need to improve our awareness. So moving to the Johnny Depp case, obviously I'm not Johnny Depp's physician or Amber Heard's, and I'm merely looking at this from the perspective of someone who's taken publicly available information, and I'm not diagnosing anyone or saying that I know what the outcome of the trial will be. So one interesting model that we can use to apply to this case, where obviously Johnny Depp has been accused of being an abuser and a drug addict and an alcoholic, and now he's fought back at Amber Heard and said, actually, it was you that was the one who was abusing me. And as part of that, we need to look at this with a model of abuse. So there is actually one similar called the Duluth model, which was also known as the power and control model, created in the 1980s by a feminist movement, which was trying to help women who were victimized from domestic violence. And it really still is an application today, but hasn't been tailored to include men. But there's only one section that would be needing change, so we can still use the other ones for the purposes of this video. And the different domains are, as you can see here, you have coercion and threats, intimidation, emotional abuse, isolation, minimizing, denying and blaming, using children, economic abuse, and male privilege. And these are all tactics that an abuser may use on their victim to try and help keep them in their circle of influence and buying into their narrative, which it seems like Amber Heard has been doing to Johnny Depp. I mean, take a look at this video where Johnny Depp speaks about losing himself.
I do not love you that much to give of myself. No, do not. I will not give of myself.
It really just gives you an idea of the flavor of what Johnny Depp must be feeling going through to take things to such a public level. Although I think it will benefit so many people that he's done that. So I'm going to give you an example of these behaviors based on things that Amber Heard has done, so you can help to understand these and maybe identify them in maybe your relationship or someone that you know. So the first is the coercive behavior. So this is really about kind of forcing someone to do something that they don't want based on a few tactics. That can be physical force, can be threats. So take a look at this video when Johnny Depp is trying to leave and Amber Heard reacts in a way which is emotionally coercing him into stay.
But we'll just see when I get home. We'll just talk, or we won't talk, or finish this or we won't finish it. But this is not love. This is not happiness. This is not.
Please stop doing this. Please, you're causing so much fucking stress. I'm gonna die at this age. I'm gonna fucking die. You're causing me so much stress. Please stop.
So I don't think anyone thinks that she is actually going to die, but it's almost like she's making threats, and she really wants to keep him there, and she will do anything and say anything to force him to do that, because it would almost force him to think that he's the bad person by walking out when she says that she's going to die. Now, she does really lose control of her emotions. She reacts very rapidly, has huge fluctuations in her mood, and you can see that here. And in actual fact, if you look at some of the things that she does, and she sometimes resorts to punching him, and there are recordings of that. But what's more interesting is how she reacts afterwards when she's called out about it. Take a look at this.
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
So that's an example of minimizing, denying, and blaming. She's almost saying that it's Johnny's fault for saying that she's punching him. But actually, what's the difference between hitting someone and punching someone? You abused him. That is a crime and should not have been done in the first place, to be physical, but she's not taking responsibility for that. It's another sign of an abuser. Now, you may say that Johnny doesn't come to any harm as a result of these things, and it might be normal for someone to lay a hand on someone's arm or push them a little bit, and that's seen as hitting, which I completely disagree with, because you should never get physical with a partner. But in this scenario, it does extend beyond that, and even to the point of intimidation and actual harm. Because take a look at what happened to Johnny's severed finger.
And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
I think you can start to see the picture of how deep that abuse goes, to the point where Johnny lost a part of his finger to Amber because of her inability to control her emotions, and the fact that she threw that bottle at him and he was even dripping blood as a result of that. I'm sorry if that disturbed some people, but I think it's important I give you the full picture, because it's really tough, because a victim sometimes needs a crisis episode like that to actually think, what is happening? Because you might ask sometimes, why does the victim stay? And the truth is, at that point, they almost don't see themselves as a victim. They see themselves as a strong person who's helping another troubled individual, and they're the only person in the world that might be able to help them. And that's all part of the abuser's control of the victim's mindset. But having this crisis moment helps them to step outside of that narrative. But speaking of the narrative, emotional abuse was clear within their relationship. As you may know, that Amber Heard is much younger than Johnny Depp. She's 36, he's 58. And take a look at what she said when he was going to go and have a deal with Dior.
She said, Dior, why would Dior want to do business with you? They're about class and they're about style. And you don't have style.
So it's interesting because that's a third party, Johnny Depp's sister, who basically confirms that series of events. And obviously she's trying to downplay his confidence. She wants to isolate him, make him feel small, because in that sense, it's part of making him stay and making him more needy to her. But really, she's the one who's needy to him and needs him to stay there for her to be abused. And, he's trying to leave on multiple occasions, but she doesn't allow that. And that's part of isolation tactics. So take a look at this clip when Johnny Depp just wants to go to a party.
So why every 5 seconds do I get I'm leaving because there's a fucking movie party I gotta go to?
See, what's interesting is she even tells him, well, okay, if you really want to go, then go, take your ring off and leave. But he does, and she still doesn't let him leave. You know, it's a sign of her testing and really her insecurity in that situation. She can't stand to be left, and we'll speak about why I think that is later on. Now, I think the other sections of the power and abuse wheel don't apply as much to this situation, but there could be some signs of economic abuse, i.e. Amber was filing to be able to stay in Johnny Depp's penthouses free of charge, otherwise threatening him with restraining orders, and you know, potentially using his children to show a maternal figure in the public eye. And I don't think obviously the last category about male privilege applies here, since Amber is female, and I don't think such a thing as female privilege exists in this world just yet. So I think that really shows examples based on this abuse model of how Amber Heard has been treating Johnny Depp, and you know, I hope that helps to clarify some of the ways an abuser does what they do. Now, I think Amber is a troubled woman, and I think that she has her own issues that she needs to deal with. I think she most likely has personality disorders fitting into the cluster B type, which are the exaggerated personality with high emotions, potentially most fitting with histrionic or borderline personality disorder. Histrionic is where somebody is really larger than life, exaggerated, has really high intense emotion, which is quite unstable and fluctuant. And borderline personality disorder is the type of person who engages in risky behavior commonly. You can see that she potentially cheated on her husband multiple times with different partners, James Franco, Elon Musk. There was footage of them in the elevator in Johnny Depp's flat when he was on holiday to Australia together. Other features of borderline personality disorder include neediness, having a fear of being left alone, which she certainly ticks the box. And there are also other features which she has, which I won't go into here because I'm aware it's quite a long video already so far, but you can read them on the screen. Now, I hope that this has really shed some light into the situation. I personally think that clearly the dynamic of their relationship has not been one which is conducive to a healthy marriage environment for them, and that's why they got divorced, and this has all become so public. Johnny Depp is clearly a victim of abuse. You know, I don't know if there were ways that he could have dealt with the situations better. He tended to seem calm and collected throughout the whole time, and I think it's very tough as an outsider to say you should have acted like this in that situation or this in that situation without knowing the full background. And you know, some people have been doing that, and I think we should step away from it. So there have even been some conspiracy theories around, which I don't know and I don't want to buy into, that Elon still has feelings for Amber, and the reason why he bought Twitter is because there's lots of anti-Amber sentiment going on now with the footage of her saying that she was hitting and not punching Johnny. So, you know, I don't know if that's true or not, but Amber does have friends in high places for sure. But I would love to hear your opinion in the comment section below. What do you think? Have you had any experiences with abuse that you can see similarities with here? What teachings do you have for other people? Let's get the discussion going in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this one, you may enjoy the video on signs of Elon Musk's Asperger's just here. And stay healthy, stay happy. See you in the next video.